Holy smokes! Touchdown! Buckeyes! Touchdown! Buckeyes! Touchdown! Buckeyes! We are live! We are live! Holy smokes!
Touchdown! Touchdown!
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
Touchdown!
Classic game. Unbelievable. Notre Dame is in silence. South Bend is silent. Holy smokes. The Buckeyes, they run it in on 4th and goal. Did he get in? Are they reviewing it? I think he's in. Oh, that is so close. That is so close. He's in. I think he's in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Peek Around the Corner post-game show. Buckeyes in Notre Dame. Buckeyes in Notre Dame. I think he's in. I think he's in. I think he's in by that much. They called the run. The last play of the game, they had 2 plays again. Ibuka with the catch at the 2-yard line with 7 seconds to go. And the Buckeyes would have 2 plays to get it in. This was a slugfest in South Bend. I think he's in. Not enough to overturn it. Yeah, we'll get to Oregon. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a touchdown. Not enough to overrule it. Not enough to overrule it. Wow. Hi, Nathan. Hi, everybody coming on in. That's a touchdown. The Buckeyes defeat the Irish in a classic game. We forget, we didn't even do the intro music. We didn't even do the intro music. That game was back and forth, back and forth. When Notre Dame took the lead, great game, absolutely great game. Sam Hartman was absolutely brilliant on that drive. When the Irish took the lead, when they had the ball at the 4-yard line, the progression of Sam Hartman, he was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. There were so many great defensive plays in that game. From both defensive lines, only a couple breakdowns. There was a breakdown late in the third quarter when McCord found an open receiver and a big third down play. 16-14. We're going to, 1 second left. No, I think the game's over. I'm hoping the game's over. Holy smokes. Okay, the phone lines are open, 763-260-1333. Yes, the Oregon Ducks, they smoke. We'll go through the top 25 right now. What a game. The Buckeyes, 16. Notre Dame, 14. They say there's a second left. Now, the line was -3. So, Caliac Madness, I'm sorry, Ethan Caliac Manis with a big run for the Gophers. They're trying to seal the game. The Gophers, well, we're not going to talk about the Gophers. I love my beloved Gophers, but they've had not a very good month of September. Let's just put it that way. The Buckeyes, 17. Notre Dame, 14. The Buckeyes win it in the last second. Medea, the moderator, has just stepped into the studio. What's going on, honey?
I don't like Minnesota
Yeah, well, they got the ball. The Gophers are up 7. Medea is very upset with the performance of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And yes, we are all very upset. Not a very good game from the Gophers. We're not going to talk about the Gophers, honey. Close the door. Yeah, Medea is not happy. Gopher fans are not happy. The Buckeyes, 17. Notre Dame, 14. Okay, I guess there's still a second left to go. Texas, let's take a look at the top 25 here. Let's take a look at the top 25. A lot of things going on. Georgia, 49-21 over UAB. Texas, 38-6 over Baylor. Complete dominance by the Longhorns. Squib kick. Notre Dame has one more offensive play. Ohio State 17, Notre Dame 14, North Carolina 41, Pittsburgh 24. USC and Arizona State game has just begun. Washington quick 14-0 over California. That machine keeps rolling. Michigan 31, Rutgers 7. Florida State 31-24. We talked about it earlier today. Oregon smashes the Colorado Buffaloes 42-6. Now that was our prediction here at Peek Around the Corner. We took Oregon minus 21. Again, Gophers are trying to win this game against Northwestern. We got a 3rd and 2. Minnesota's up 7 with the ball. Notre Dame's final play. Hook and ladder. They're looking for laterals. You know, now Hartman's going to get killed. They fumble the ball. Game is over. The Buckeyes have won. Utah defeats UCLA 14-7. 14-7. Now, the story of this game is Cameron Rising did not play once again. Can he get back into the Utah's lineup? They are 4-0 without their leader. 4-0, which is impressive. But they're going to need Cameron Rising. Utah's going to need Cameron Rising to become the 3-time defending, reigning, undisputed, and the last Pac-12 champions. Again, the phone lines are open. 763-260-1333. And Northwestern stops the Minnesota Golden Gophers. 4th down. What are the Gophers going to do? Ryan Day being interviewed. A big victory. A massive victory for the Buckeyes. And going into this game, yeah, no question about it. Utah's defense is very, very good. Going into this game, Ohio State was rated number 6 in the country. Notre Dame was number 9. Notre Dame's not going to drop much. Now, it was a loss at home, but they're not going to drop much. They're going to go to about 13, 14, 15th in the country. Ohio State will probably move up a couple spots. But what a game. Wow. Fight on time. USC versus Arizona State. And it looks like USC is going to score. First time with the ball. That game probably will be a blowout. Man, oh man. Oregon looks like the team to beat. I don't know. I mean, what about Washington? What about the Huskies? Kansas held BYU to 9 yards rushing. If you're new to the channel, this is our PATC Peek Around the Corner post game of number 6 Buckeyes versus number 9 the Irish. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Smash that like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. And give us a call at 763-260-1333. It looks like the Gophers are punting. Northwestern's going to have the ball with 2 minutes to go. They're going to try to drive and tie the game. And the Gophers go off sides. what a horrific football game by our beloved Minnesota Golden Gophers, except for the true freshman, Darius Taylor. Other than that, holy smokes. Now, and he says Washington secondary is not good. USC has no defense. Ohio State is not soft. No, they are not soft. This is not a soft Buckeye team. Wagner and PJ Fleck are pissed at each other on the sidelines. Why is Wagner still our special teams coach? After all these years. Okay, yeah, let's badger Ron. Let's talk about it. Brian France, but that's terrible. I mean, there's a lot of bad football being played in the Big Ten West, and my Gophers are leading them all in bad football. But that is just. Why are you in the end zone? Why are you?
Me and Bob met about 20 years ago here at Firestone.
What? You're down there to down the punt and you let it go in the end zone 3 yards and then you down it. It's just this is a mockery. The special teams of the Gophers are mocking football right now. Or they have for the last 6 years. I've never seen that before. I thought I've seen everything from the Gophers special teams. Let's get back to Iowa. Let's get back to that offense. I mean, they didn't even know what they were doing out there. It isn't just because they don't have the players at the skill position. And Iowa doesn't have the offensive line like they've had in the last decade. Don't know what it is. Don't know if they're recruiting the wrong guys or can't develop them. But it's beyond that. They don't even know how to line up anymore. Northwestern, first down at their own 38-yard line, admitting 26 to go. Northwestern's trying to win this game. And quite honestly, they deserve it. They deserve it. McCord is kneeling down. Poor Greg is going to have an aneurysm. It's just, why does this thing keep coming on? Let me take that off. It's just, now, everybody hit that like button. Even though I'm rattled right now, everybody hit that like button. Illinois had 5 turnovers and still put up 13 points on Penn State. Oh my God, a face mask, major face mask. Northwestern driving down the field. Georgia, they won, but they let UAB score 3 times. Never seen a guy down the ball in the end zone. Well, Gophers, I mean, seriously, Darius Taylor, the true freshman who's about to win the Big Ten Freshman of the Week award for the 3rd week in a row. Besides him, and a few offensive linemen and a few defensive linemen, but the Gophers have played terrible football tonight. Just terrible. They deserve to lose this game against Northwestern. A minute to go. Gophers are up 7. Northwestern driving the ball, trying to tie this up. Yeah, it was a tremendous game. The Irish, there it is. First down, Northwestern driving right down the middle of the field against the Gophers. I don't know, man. No, it's that's got to be a hold on Anthony Smith there. They call the flag. It's got to be at least a holding on Northwestern. What a terrible game. Two terrible teams playing a terrible game, but I got to give Northwestern a lot of credit for playing with so much heart in the second half. They could have just laid down, but they just keep coming and coming and coming. And now I'm going to have to turn this off as well. Holy smokes. Again, let's take a look at some scores. Give us a call, 763-260-1333. Top 25 scores. North Carolina, 41. 24 over Pittsburgh. USC's got a quick touchdown. 7-0 Arizona State. Washington, 14. California, 6. Ooh, was he in? Was he in? The referee's calling him out of bounds. Big play. They're going to review that. It looks like he's in. That's a completed pass by Northwestern. Michigan, 31-7. Florida State wins. Oklahoma wins. Oregon defeats Colorado big. And Alabama, 24. Ole Miss, 10. Again, Ole Miss struggling to run the ball. Struggling to run the ball this year. And they ran it so good last year. 2nd and 20. They didn't give it to them. Dump off. Big tackle by Strigow. Good evening, Bill G. Son of Sarah K. Notre Dame. How do the tears of defeat taste? That was a tough loss. That was an extremely tough loss by Notre Dame. They played very, very good. Northwestern with an easy first down. Another missed tackle. 3rd and 12, they dump it off to the tight end. Easy first down. They get out of bounds. Northwestern, get your nitroglycerin ready. Oh, man. Just, Northwestern don't have any timeouts left. They got the ball at the Gophers' 23-yard line. A pass rush. They didn't get to him. First down, Northwestern. First down, Northwestern at the Gophers' about 9-yard line. No, I'm sorry. 11-yard line, 12-yard line, 1st and 10. Boy, I thought they had Northwestern in a sack there. Northwestern spiking the ball, 8 seconds to go. Epic comeback. Aye, Minnesota. Maria Flugard, the moderator. None of you guys have been watching this game. I understand it. I mean, you had the Buckeyes and the Irish. Why would you watch Minnesota and Northwestern? But I got to say, this has been the cooler. No question about it. This has been horrific. Horrific on a grand scale. 31-24 Gophers. Northwestern back to throw. Oh, he almost caught it. 5 seconds to go. Northwestern's going to get one. Northwestern's going to get one more play, and there's an injury. The wide receiver is injured. K-State just scored 37-24. So Kansas State has all these injuries, right? And look at that. They're still defeating UCF by 13 points. Kansas with an impressive win over BYU, 38-27. West Virginia Mountaineers get a big victory for Neil Brown. Texas Tech loser starting quarterback. Got to cut that off. Wow. Great final drive, Nick Kelso. Great final drive. That game's going to be talked about. How about them Longhorns Texas is back. We said it in the offseason. We predicted them to win the Big 12. Yeah. Texas is definitely back. We got one more play to go. 5 seconds left. If Northwestern score, please just go for a 2-pointer. Just put us out of our misery. Back to pass. Wide open. Touchdown. Northwestern. Touchdown. Where's my...
Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
Go for 2. Go for 2. End this game. End it. No, don't. Don't go for an extra point. End this game. Boo. Boo. Oh, God. What is Minnie doing? Even when, not good. I mean, even when they were up 31-10, weren't they? Yeah, 31-10. And the only reason that the Gophers were up 24-10, they haven't been able to do anything. It was 4th and 3. They gave the ball to Darius Taylor at Northwestern's 43-yard line, and he was stuffed. But he broke a tackle, broke another tackle, and ran it in for a touchdown. Besides that one singular play, Minnesota has been beaten on almost every single play this entire half. I mean, every single play. Northwestern. Now, Northwestern's not that good, ladies and gentlemen, but they put it to the Gophers this whole second half. Even when it was 31-17, there was not a Gopher fan that wasn't disgusted by the play of the Gophers. Now, I predicted the Gophers would go 6-6. I got thrashed pretty hard by Gopher fans because everybody else had them doing better. This is a transition year, but this has gone worse than I ever imagined. Texas is actually back. What a disappointment, Grandma said. That's my mother, 90-year-old mother watching this game. Not just a terrible effort. You don't usually get that with Fleck teams. They have been sleepy. Northwestern have been knocking them onto the ground like bowling pins. Indiana and Akron in overtime. Holy smokes. Probably, Ted. Probably. Although Purdue, not looking good. Michigan State's on the schedule. But yeah, this is a must win. Well, who cares? Actually, Gophers were never really part of the discussion this year. Brutal schedule and the back seven, we talked about it all off season. Way too many question marks. You're not going to be able to find the answers for all those question marks. Almost all those guys have played no Power 5 football. Besides Justin Wally and Tyler Nubin, that's it. The one, what are they reviewing here? The one big, just big bright spot of the Gophers season is the running back, Darius Taylor, the true freshman. He's an absolute beast. But besides that, this has been terrible. Brevin Spanford, the tight end, who's ranked like 1, 2, 3, 4th, 5th best tight end in the nation. He has been terrible. I don't know, what are they reviewing here? The Gophers special teams screw up? Did they screw up? There should be 0 seconds left to go on the clock. 21-6 Washington. Again, if you want to put out a comment that we talk about as quick as possible, do a deep dive on it, hit the $ and donation, help us keep the lights on. Smash that like button. That is for free. It helps us with the algorithms at YouTube so very much. This is post-game Irish and the Buckeyes. Irish and the Buckeyes. Year 7, we should have better talent. Well, we flipped our we're in trouble, Tony. We're in trouble. That's all I got to say. We lost guys in the portal on our defense that we never imagined we were going to lose them. Guys who were going to play this year, start this year. And that left us so thin. Now, the first 4 games of the season, the Gophers are without their only real Big Ten legit linebacker, Cody Lindenberg. He hasn't played all year. So that thin back 7 was even more thin than I could ever imagine at the beginning of the season. And it's just, they're going to get picked on all year long. Our passing game is dreadful. And here we are. 6-6, 5-7, something like that. NIL, son of Sarek. NIL. NIL. Can't watch anymore. Keep me updated. Hey, Arizona State recovered a USC fumble on USC's 15-yard line. Northwestern ain't Nebraska. Nebraska ain't Nebraska. Nebraska, man, they're without their. They beat Louisiana Tech in Northern Illinois. And Northern Illinois might be the worst. They are the worst offensive FBS team in the country. Nebraska is going to get clobbered next week. They're going to lose a lot of games this year. They're in bad shape as well. So, TD, Arizona State. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Indiana, Akron into overtime. Minnesota, Northwestern into overtime. USC, Arizona State. Arizona State rushes it in. Cameron Scatabo, touchdown. Son of Sarek, Minnesota is the only Division I team in Minnesota. Why don't they have more fans, NIL support? Minnesota is a pro sports state. Pro sports state. It's now Minnesota has great support for the wrestling team, for their hockey. We are a hockey state, of course. There is a decent fan base, and it's a good traveling fan base. It's not that big. Hopefully the NIL becomes bigger for Minnesota. But look, Minnesota is the most northern Power 5 university in the country. If you expect Minnesota to compete at a high level in football year in and year out, PJ Fleck has done a great job as the head coach of Minnesota. But this year, transition year. I said they're 6-6. They look like a 6-6, 5-7 team. Oh my gosh. Corey Crooms almost gets killed. That's 8th, and Cadillac Manis sets him up to be demolished. Twin Cities are a pro sports town. Yeah. Gary, I can no longer defend the Big Ten West. Well, you should never have been defending the Big Ten West. And this is the last year of the Big Ten West. But this might be the worst of all the Big Ten West seasons. Corey Crooms just got hammered. Boy, what a Kansas State scored 44-24. Kansas State, man. We got a couple injuries down here. Northwestern's down 2nd and 10. Overtime, Minnesota 31-31. Texas only leaves the state of Texas twice this season. Alabama and at Iowa State. Mr. Bearcat is in the house. Yeah, Texas, they got a nice pathway now. They got a nice, they beat Alabama on the road. USC's not good. I keep saying their offense is crazy. Caleb Williams is a generational talent. No question about it. We got a second. I cannot believe I'm sitting here watching the Gophers in Northwestern. Dreadful game. Thank goodness no one watched this game except for me and a few other Gopher fans and Northwestern fans. Corey Crooms gets hammered again, but he hangs on to the ball. 1st and 10, Gophers at the 10-yard line. Yeah, I saw Lanning. I don't know what to think about Lanning. Oregon coach. Man, he really speaks his mind, doesn't he? Holy smokes. A big run. Big run by Bryce Taylor, 2nd and goal. I see Darius Taylor's not in the game right now. Is he injured? If Darius Taylor is injured for the Gophers, then let's just put a fork in the season, ladies and gentlemen. Darius Taylor's on the sidelines. Man, if he's injured, not good, man. Not good. He had another huge day for the Gophers. Taylor's injured? What's his injury? What is his injury? Let me know what Darius Taylor's injury is. David Griffin, I'm calling it right now. Duke will beat Notre Dame to end their 2023 college football playoff hopes. Wow. And that's next week, isn't it? 3rd and goal. Gophers. Play action. Oh, jeez! See, that needs to be a touchdown. Ethan Kellick-Manis again throws it high, and again, Brevin Spanford can't bring it in. That needs to be a touchdown. Every other college football team, that's a touchdown. Again. And now they're kicking a field goal. And, that's not going to, even if they make it, that's not going to hold up. And he misses it. No, he made it. Somehow he made that kick. PJ Fleck is shaking his head. The whole team has collapsed. The whole team has collapsed. And if Darius Taylor's injured, he barely made that, ladies and gentlemen. And there's no way they're holding Northwestern to a field goal. So USC keeps the ball. Now our kicker's injured. He hit his foot on the turf. It looks like Northwestern won. Everybody say in the chat, game over. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. What a tragedy. What a tragedy. Wide open. Thank you. Thank you. What an epic collapse. Epic collapse. Northwestern, congratulations.
Touchdown!
Congratulations.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
The unbelievable collapse of everything Gopher football in this game. Historic. Absolutely historic. The defense, everything was wide open in the middle of the field. We talked about it. Ethan Kaliak-Manis. You cannot make a simple throw. I don't know what's going on. Darius Taylor, our incredible true freshman running back, when he got injured at the end of that game because they weren't going to be able to stop him. He had about 190 yards, but of course he gets injured. Cry, cry, cry. The Gophers go down in flames to Northwestern. Epic, classic, collapse. Now, none of you guys are going to be hearing a lot about it, but here in Minnesota, terrible game. Brevin Spanford, whatever NFL's draft stock you had going into this year, and you were graded about it as a second rounder or a third rounder, forget about it. Forget about it. You'll get a cup of coffee right now in the NFL. Every ball has gone through your hands all season long. The defense, you had no experience in the back seven. That's what we talked about. No experience at all, and then they lose Cody Lindenberg. How about them Gophers, Gophers, Gophers? How about them Colorado Cows? They were expected to get beat. I expected them to get beat badly. And they did. And that's going to take a lot for them. I like the idea of Flugar After Dark. Oh, man. Holy cow. Gophers need a quarterback in the portal next season. Yes, they do. Yep. Yep. That was the payback for Minnesota for the Nebraska game. At least Texas Tech isn't your team, Greg. Well, here we are, week 4. A lot of college football fans are hanging their heads in dejection because it just isn't happening this year for them. But there's a lot of college football fans that are excited. And one of those fan bases is the Ohio State Buckeyes because they won a classic 17-14 over Notre Dame. Kyle McCord, Ibuka at the 2-yard line, 7 seconds to go. Incomplete, the Marvin Harrison Jr., and then they ran it in, and he just got over the end line. And Notre Dame should be excited about Marcus Freeman. They really should. Now, Notre Dame's going to have to do something at the quarterback position next year because they're going to lose Sam Hartman. He's going to go to the NFL. But Notre Dame's got it going. They're legit. They're getting better and better and better. Immaculate says, I doubt I watch another Iowa game this year. Look, Iowa, they're going to get a new head coach here. Give us a call, Immaculate, if you want. 763-260-133. I mean, Iowa's going to get a new coach, a new look here pretty soon, as the Big Ten's going to get a new look starting next year, right? A lot of teams are in transition. Luke Fickell gets hired. Wisconsin, they're trying to get it going. Eisman 57, great Gophers tried to cheer up us all Hawkeye fans. It didn't work. Yeah, it's misery, ladies and gentlemen. It was misery before this game for the Gophers. It's not, besides Darius Taylor, there is no bright spots on this team. And it looks like he got injured. So, The true freshman who's going to win back-to-back Freshman of the Week award 3 weeks in a row got injured at the end of the game. But it doesn't matter. Gophers, if they get to a bowl game, it's going to be, they're going to be playing at the Quick Lane Bowl if they get to a bowl game. And it looks like they probably will not. I don't know what Iowa's going to do. I don't know what they're going to do for the rest of this year. Ducks are loaded at running back. Yeah, Ducks are. Oregon Ducks are a problem. Washington Huskies are a problem. Let's take a look at the USC game. Give us a call. 763-260-1333. The phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. I'm just taking a look at the Gophers message board right now. I'm not going to read any of the messages. Gosh, it's terrible.
Call from
Immaculate.
Immaculate is on the line. The floor is yours. If you want it, you can have it. I don't want it. Thanks for giving us a call. What's up, my friend?
Oh, what a day.
Woo! Yes.
And then what's this Ohio State hitting the spread? I've won and lost maybe at the same time.
Yeah, that was a great game, though, man. That was great.
Yeah, all these people saying it's terrible football. I'm like,
Oh,
like what kind of football people are these that think that these type of games are terrible games? Like,
oh,
have you ever played football before?
No.
Right.
that was so much smack. There was so much hard hitting going on in that game.
Like all they care about to watch is see people score. Like that's
Yeah.
like, that's great, but that's not football.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was that. Sam Hartman made some, there was some plays in that where the Buckeyes had the Irish receivers covered. The Irish, Notre Dame doesn't have a very good, right now, they don't have a very good wide receiver room, right? And they really had a hard time getting open. But Sam Hartman, the way he progresses, the way he looks down the field and looks left, right, trying to find that open receiver, I mean, he was a stud today because he wasn't getting much help. Notre Dame wasn't creating that much separation. And then McCord made the throws at the end there, man.
Yeah, I kept going between that and the Iowa game until I finally had enough of the Iowa game.
Yeah, tell us about what's going on there. I mean, that was, what is it? Is it just everything, or is it one main component, or that?
I think it's everything.
Yeah, it's everything.
It's literally one. Penn State's a good team. They're just better at everything. They're even better at defense.
Yeah.
They're for real.
Yes.
Might even say that they're the best team in the Big Ten this year. And if Ohio State might have more talent, but what's with these guys getting hurt all the time?
Yeah. Yes.
And it's over little stuff, like over an ankle or like I don't know. That's why kind of funny that Lou Holtz was saying that they were soft, and then the coach freaked out about it. But they've got guys out for like these little rinky-dink injuries.
Yeah. I just, Indiana and Akron are going into a third overtime.
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point in time, like Northwestern beating you, like they should have had 0 wins this year. And at this point in time, they might beat Iowa.
Well, I don't think so. I can sum it up. I can sum it up this way. For the Gophers, and we're not going to spend any time on the Gophers, but Rob Wagner is still their special teams coach. Still today, okay? After 7 miserable years, 7 years of, I'm going on a rant here, Immaculate, okay? Of 7 years of the most dreadful special teams play in all of college football, and he's still the special teams coach at the University of Minnesota. And I need somebody at the Minnesota Press, somebody to ask PJ Fleck the question, why is Rob Wagner still the special teams coach? Why? And this is why I don't get media credentials. Exactly the reason why I just said it. It's unbelievable. You talk about Brian Frentz. Why is he still the offensive coordinator? Well, at least he's the coach's son, for God's sake. Rob Wagner should not be coaching special teams in mini football. That's it. I'm not going to spend another second on it. Oh, God, mighty.
Brian Ferentz was a great offensive line coach. He just, unfortunately, he was also the coach's son, so he got a job promotion that he shouldn't have gotten. And so now we are probably going to have to get rid of the Ferentzes and Parker, because Parker's going to walk out the door with them, and we're going to suck for a while until they figure out what's next and how it goes next. Because the one thing that Iowa's always had for recruiting, what it does get in, is stability. I mean, you knew who was going to be your coaches.
Yeah.
You knew who was going to be there. You knew it wasn't like 1 year or 2 years later it's going to be all brand different.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be the case now. I mean,
so let's pretend Indiana just threw an interception. So Akron's going to get the ball here, 27-27 in the third overtime. Okay, let's pretend Iowa coaching staff gets dismissed or they retire or whatever. Who's the Iowa hot board? Who's the top two on your Iowa hot board for the new head coach of the Iowa Hawkeyes for 2024?
Funny you ask that, because me and Moen have had a little bit of going back and forth on that.
Okay.
He thinks Chris Kleiman from Kansas State. And I say Brett Believa from Illinois.
Oh.
But at this point, I think in Brett, because of his past and his history,
yeah,
and because he would do things the old school way there. But I'm kind of coming around to, like, if they could pull Chris Kleiman, then go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Although, you know, our Big 12 friends probably would hate me if I ever said that. But.
Yeah, they would, and they would get upset and everything. I mean, Iowa would have to bring up the bags of cash to get them. But I was going to have the bags of cash.
They got it.
So, yeah, I mean, he should be target number one. Make him refuse not to be looked into, right?
I think he would. I mean, with the way things are going, I think he's got some kind of history there, doesn't he? I wasn't aware.
I don't know. Daniel Montecastle, Mr. Hoosier's in the house. Daniel, I think Tom Allen's time is pretty much at the end as well. I know you don't think they'll fire him because who are they going to get? But Indiana, they're probably ready to do something new here. I don't know. It's just misery all over the place. Almost all over the place.
Actually, Chris Kleiman he's from Iowa, and he was at Northern Iowa.
Okay.
And he does have some local ties.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, we'll see. Right now, I'm just kind of like, I was hoping Kay would have it, but you know, when you lose your starting running back and your backup running back and you're on your third string running back and you're Iowa and you don't have guys that can, you know, you can't swap out your running back, and that's what you're based on kind of on the run game.
Yeah.
You got nothing. And so, you know, I don't know if they could have did better if they didn't have those injuries. You know, if they had their captain defensive tackle who couldn't play this year, with the whole investigation and guys like that. I don't know. At this point in time, it's just much a loss. I mean, I knew they were going to lose this game, but I had them picked to actually maintain the spread. But if you can't score, you're not going to meet any spread.
Yeah. I do think, though, I am not a big fan of the athletic director making this. You have to score so many points per average to keep your contract. I just find that I don't think that helps. I think that hurts the cause, right?
Well, he has the royal name,
yeah,
and they weren't going to just straight up fire him because of his father. So they had to create some way for him to fail.
Yeah.
But the problem is now you make the father have to retire along with that because, family, right?
Yes.
And if he goes, Parker goes, and then with no defense, now you have to fully re-gear from the way they do things now to something else. So that's why Brett Bielema probably does not work. Because you need an offensive mind to come in here and with USC coming, Oregon, Washington, you're going to have to play a different style of game if you don't have, a top-level defense to try and keep you in these games. So we're going to have to do something completely different. It's going to be rebuild time for Iowa. So I'm kind of done with that.
Yeah. Wow.
Sure. I don't know if you're watching USC and ASU. It's actually
what's going on there? They're up 14-7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Washington's up 31-12. Washington, Oregon. Thank goodness, as they come into the Big Ten next year, thank goodness they don't have Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. Holy smokes. They're going to be, there's the teams that are coming in next year at the Pac-12 and the Big Ten, they're going to be in transition, right? Washington is, USC is going to be losing Caleb Williams. Man.
That kid at Oregon, though, the backup, he's been there. This is his second year there.
Yeah, that's true.
So by the time, I think he'll probably be pretty good. He was a 5-star out of Gilbert, Arizona here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And he didn't look like he wasn't, experienced, but if they play like that all year long, he'll get plenty of experience this year. He probably would have played all half long if it wasn't Colorado. Coach didn't want to make a statement on them.
Woo! I tell you.
Anyways, sorry Minnesota lost, man. I thought that you guys would pull that one out.
Well, it was 31-10. It was 24-10, and Northwestern was just beat. It's one of those things where you see one team win every single play over and over, or like. They were beating us all over the place. It was 24-10, and it was fourth and third. Gophers had the ball at Northwestern's 43-yard line, and they went for it, and they gave the ball to Darius Taylor, and he broke a couple tackles. It was beautiful. He did it all on his own. He ran for 40-some yards, touchdown, 31-10. Every play after that, it was all Northwestern. And before that, it was all Northwestern. So Northwestern deserved to win that game. No question about it. The Gophers, immaculate, they're in trouble. They were in trouble going into the season. That back seven, they don't have the thoroughbreds back there. They're not. The defense isn't what it has been, and there was too many question marks. In the passing game, Ethan Kaliak-Manis has been a monster disappointment this year. Just terrible. And Brevin Spanford, I've never seen a player like this collapse. He was a first, second, third round draft pick going into next spring's draft. And all he's done this year is drop the ball. That's all he's done this year. His draft stock the whole team is in absolute disarray. And of course, the special teams, absolutely brutal. Brutal! Jeez! It's embarrassing, man. Yeah, we're going to lose to Iowa. Of course we're going to lose to Iowa.
I mean, all you really got to do is score 25 points and you.
Yeah, well, it's not going to happen, man. It's not going to happen. It's over. We'll see what happens in 2024. Thank goodness there's a lot of exciting storylines going on in college football that has nothing to do with my beloved Golden Gophers. So, still an exciting season.
Do you think it's a player thing, a coach thing?
It's
BJ Fleck is.
BJ Fleck. We got an offensive coordinator who's never called plays in Power 5 football. We got a special teams coach that PJ Fleck refuses to fire. That's on PJ Fleck. The defense, I got to give Joe Rossi a pass because we lost these starters in the portal. The portal killed the Gophers this year. The portal, the NIL, this new world, it's very difficult now for the Gophers. So, I don't know, the Dinky Town Athletics, we're going to have to create more revenue for NIL to be able to compete, to get some better players. Yeah, but the Gophers are in trouble.
Yeah, it's kind of the same. Like, with some of the schools in the Big Ten that pulling, like Michigan State had some guys pulled out of there. It could be tough, you know, some guys that they get built up. Big Ten has good facilities, good kind of training regimen, build up guys. I could see it becoming a place where, you know, guys get pulled from unless they get along and start playing this new kind of ball.
Yeah.
I think the days of this old school ball, or at least in the West, like they got to get past it. They got to get over it. They got to start bringing in some guys that play differently because that's just not how football is done anymore. It's just not going to work.
Yeah. All righty, man.
I just want to call in and, you know.
Yeah. Share my misery.
Did you, you know, it could be worse. You know, you could be a Colorado Buffs fan.
Oh. Yeah.
That was like a train wreck that I could not look away from.
Yeah. They're going to have a few more of those this year. But you know what? They're going to get to 6 wins, I think.
Oh, yeah. So I'm watching this ASU game because now I'm curious about this because this is the first game that Dillingham is actually calling himself. He's calling the plays again, and that's kind of how he got this job.
Yes.
And they're not looking terrible. So I'm looking at going, I don't know. I don't know if Colorado can beat them. We'll see.
I got it. All right, man.
Yeah, good night. We'll catch you again later.
Yeah.
And, don't take it too hard.
No, I won't. I'm already over it. Except for my rant on Rob Wagner, the worst special teams coach in all of college football. Thanks, Immaculate. Appreciate it.
Sure thing, man. Have a good night.
Call from
Moen. Big victory. Buckeyes. Wow. Pass to Buka, 2-yard line. 2 plays to go. 7 seconds left. The first play is incomplete, and then they run it in, and he just got over the end line. Congratulations, Moen. Wow. Woo!
Greg, if you thought I was an insufferable a-hole to Notre Dame before.
Jeez. That game was great, though.
They will never hear the end of it. It was a defensive showdown.
Oh, man.
Boy, I can't get past that 4th down call. that Day called, and then you get to that Clemson game and the call that Garrett Riley made in that game.
Oh, yeah.
It just why are guys getting so cute with fourth down? I mean,
I don't know.
I know it might be dating myself, but Woody Hayes already figured this one out, guys.
Yeah.
You put all your big guys in, and you push forward, and you run the ball. And it generally worked. It worked for Woody. I mean, it generally converted 80% of the time if you only needed 1 yard. So I don't understand the cute play calling, but I love the finish, an instant classic.
Yes.
Notre Dame fans once again realize they're not going to play in the national championship.
It doesn't look like it, but they're not going to drop all that much with that loss.
But with Clemson losing, they're not really going to have. I mean, I think North Carolina's going to be their only.
Well, they play Duke tomorrow. They play Duke next week, right?
Well, yeah, I could see that, Greg, but I still don't see them at one loss with without having a conference championship.
Yeah, it'll be tough.
And honestly, I think North Carolina might beat them. I think Drake May's got enough of an arm and enough experience on him to handle Hartman.
Yeah.
I think this puts Notre Dame out of the national championship, which is where they should be, completely out of the playoffs. Don't want them anywhere near the playoffs. They can sit in the ACC and roast and boil in their own oil with Stanford and Cal and SMU, who they sold a seat to. But just a great day of football, man. This is one of those things you live for. Just how many great games were on today. I watched the Clemson Florida State, and I watched Oregon just absolutely steamroll Colorado. Flipping back and forth between the Ohio State and the Washington State games. It's incredible. I just wanted to call and say I'm so happy that college football's back.
Yes.
I think, we're kicking into high gear here.
Yes. Yep. And there's a lot of great storylines, and next year is even going to be better, in my opinion. So, but this year's, we're just getting into it now after week 4. I am so that game is going to live on forever. That Irish Buckeye game, just the plays and the hitting in that stupid 4th down play call by Ryan Day, but they still pull it out. And if Notre Dame would have had any other quarterback except for Sam Hartman, Notre Dame probably would have gotten shut out because their wide receivers, they couldn't get separation. There were a couple broken plays by the Buckeyes defense, but the Buckeyes defense was all over those Notre Dame receivers. Hartman had to process the field over and over again. Then he found the wide open receiver in the middle of the field. But Hartman moves his eyes all over the place. He's hard to defend, and the Buckeyes did it as best as you possibly could, in my opinion.
They did okay. The defensive line did okay. They didn't have the breakout game I wanted. I'm still waiting for. Jack Sawyer had that one great play at the beginning where he almost picked off that bubble screen that Hartman was going to throw. But I'm waiting to see from Jack Sawyer and Tui Malolalo. He knows who he is, number 44.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting to see those guys break out. Both 5-star recruits.
Yes.
You've got the best defensive line coach in the country, and Larry Johnson.
Jack Sawyer
no reason for you guys not to ball out.
Yeah. Yeah, Jack doesn't make enough plays out there. He didn't last year. He's not doing it this year. I don't know.
Well, JT's the same way. He'll make that Penn State game. I think he had 4 sacks and 2 interceptions, and one of them was a pick 6. The rest of the year, he didn't do very much. So onward and upward, Greg.
Yes.
But just one more reminder: the Notre Dame Fighting Irish have not beat the Ohio State Buckeyes since 1936, and
Yeah.
so we're approaching 100 years. So
Wow.
there you go. There you go, Irish. Deal with it.
Wow. Thanks, man. Appreciate the phone call.
Hey, thanks, Greg.
Yep, you got it. Buckeyes, big win over the Irish, 17-14. The moderator, the one who rules with an iron fist, Medea Flugar. Hold on.
Call from
Steve.
Steve, Mr. Bearcat. Can you just hold on for 1 second?
Sure.
The wife, the moderator, Medea Flugar. When I'm sad, I want to eat tacos, El Pastor, and cake, cookies, pies, etc. Big loss for my wife. Big loss for the Gophers. Anyway, Steve, Mr. Bearcat, the floor is yours. What's going on, sir?
Just a typical day in college football, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. What a day. Holy smokes.
I mean, that the Ohio State Notre Dame game was one for the ages.
Yeah.
Some of the games I expected to be closer weren't, but I think what we did see today, maybe, Greg, was some separation. The fourth week of the season, you maybe can start putting your finger on who's good. Michigan played as well as anybody today.
Yeah. Yes,
They really, really did. And then, I just, I expected Oregon to pretty much handle Colorado, but not like that.
Yeah.
That was never a game. And then, of course, the Florida State Clemson game, the kid makes the field goal. Clemson probably wins that game,
Yep.
So it's just a lot of fun watching a lot of these games today, for sure.
Absolutely. Yep. Clemson has kicking problems. They bring a guy back on their program. He was taking online courses. He wasn't even on the roster this year, but they're having so many issues. They bring a guy back, and he missed the kick at the end there. And what a terrible way to lose.
Yep. I see you rode just past the Oklahoma-Cincinnati game.
Yes.
If you'd have told me that Cincinnati was going to hold Oklahoma to 20 points, I thought they'd have had a better chance to win the football game. But
yes.
Give a little credit to Oklahoma's defense, but that's the second week in a row where Cincinnati gets the red zone and they can't score.
Yeah.
They just can't. They can't score a touchdown. They move the ball like crazy between the 20s, but they can't put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah. Emory Jones with a couple interceptions, 22 of 41, 235.
Yeah, they just can't. I don't know, Greg. He's doing this. They don't rush the ball as well, as consistently as I'd like to see them rush it. I mean, they run some yards. They put up some yards, but I don't think you don't have an outstanding running back. And I see why he's doing it by committee. It's not that I'm questioning Satterfield, but there's just no consistency there. The offensive line it's got a few problems, and I just
like to see that corrected because now they got a short week and they got to play a 10-15 game in Provo next Friday night.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge in itself. So we'll see what happens there. But it's kind of, I said 6-6. I wasn't planning on losing the Miami of Ohio game.
Yeah.
That wasn't one I had in the loss column. So, just kind of see how everything plays out the rest of the season. But I don't know. Utah is Utah. I think people are forgetting about them. Defensively, I don't know. They look pretty good.
Yeah. But, the question remains is when are they going to get Cameron Rising back?
It's he was out in pads.
Yeah.
And then they went back to the locker room, and apparently either he didn't like what was going on, or him and the medical staff and the team doctor didn't like what was going on. So, they said he practiced this week, not, more than he has. So when are they going to get him back?
Yeah.
They're going to need him before the season's over, but I just think defensively they're as good as I've seen, really. But they're going to need him. They're going to need him against a Southern Cal or an Oregon or Washington. Oregon and Washington, Greg. What do you think of those two? Those two teams are.
They're elite.
I think
they're elite. They're going to be right there. That game's going to be epic. I'm not sure. Yeah, the game will be in the 40s, right? No one's stopping Washington from scoring this year. So forget about it. You're going to have to outscore Washington. And Oregon's running game is dynamic. And, of course, you have Bo Nix.
Look for an ATM from our bank, or we'll have to pay a small fortune in fees.
BMO has more fee free.
And then all the other great athletes they have, that could be a 60-55 game. My goodness. It's just I just watch them and I'm amazed at how they move the football and the athletes they have.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun to watch. Washington, like the Huskies, those guys at the end of the year, they got together and they said, we're gonna run this one back. McMillan, Ondunze, Michael Penix Jr., Alabama was trying to grab their offensive coordinator, Grubb, and they all said, no, we're coming back. We're going to do this thing. And, man, it is going to take one huge, incredible effort, an epic game to defeat the Washington Huskies. And Oregon probably has it in them, right? It's
yeah. That game's going to have to be prime time game because, I don't know. I'm sitting here because I'm not talking about Utah or Southern Cal having to say about this thing either. You just look at it and you're going, they're not even that conference isn't even the thing that really blows my mind. That conference not even going to exist after this, and that's the crazy part about it too. And, you were talking about the Big Ten West. Boy, Greg, there may be a few coaches who are. Indiana. I don't know. What will happen at Northwestern after this season's over, and you look at. Purdue's not going to get rid of their coach obviously his first year, but Baton Rouge is going to be there, but. Boy, you look at, let's face it, Akron's not even a very good MAC team.
No.
And, Indiana's at home, and how do you mess around like that?
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, it's next year there won't be a Big Ten West. It's going to be 18 teams. There's going to be a playoff of 12. Next year, you know, next year the Big 12 is not going to have Oregon and Texas. It's going to ACC is going to have Stanford and California. You know, next year is going to be like a completely different foreign game.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, Greg, one team I'm keeping my eye on that absolutely no one's talking about is Syracuse.
Yeah.
Not that they're going to win the ACC.
Yeah.
But you know, they could derail a couple of teams in the ACC that are good.
Yeah.
You know, I just think they could. But
Dino Babers, man, he does this once every couple of years, right?
Yep.
Here he goes again.
Yep. Well, I got to see him firsthand in person for a few years at Bowling Green. Because I lived so close there, and when he was coaching there, they had some nice football teams. So I think the guy could coach. You know.
Yep.
So yeah, they're going to be interesting. I just think they're a team that's sitting back there that nobody's thinking about in the ACC that could cause some teams some problems before the season's over.
Yeah.
But we'll see. It's college football.
Yes, it is.
So anyhow, all right. Well, who's Minnesota got next week?
Huh?
Who's Minnesota have next week?
Oh, Lord. Louisiana Cajuns.
Okay.
It should be a close game.
Well, like I said, it's college football. You don't know.
Yeah, the Gophers might win a couple more games this year. They might get to 4 or 5 wins. It's pretty bad around here this year, but you know what? There's always next year, and college football is the best sport there is anyways, besides my Gophers, so we're all good.
Yep. All right.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Mr. Bearcat.
Call from
PSU Nitwit.
PSU Nitwit. The Nittany Lions stop the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's looking good, sir. It's looking good. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Greg. I tell you what, tonight was a night, man. Domination. That's all I can say. It's been a while since I've seen a Penn State team just impose their will on an opponent on both sides of the ball. It's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, now who do you got next week?
I think we play Massachusetts, and then we play, and then we get Northwestern, and then we go to Ohio State for a big showdown.
Yeah.
Got to thank Ohio State for knocking off Notre Dame for us.
Yes.
Appreciate it, guys. But I have to say, like, watching the maturation of Drew Aller, just up close and personal, is the real deal, man. Like, I saw him tonight. I think the schedule set up good for him, Greg. Like, you know, played West Virginia at home.
Yeah.
Got a road test at Illinois. You know, game started close. Iowa's defense is pretty tough. 4th and 2 play down on the goal line. He said, all right, let me just check out of this run play and let me take this over and throw a touchdown pass. I mean, that's amazing stuff when you have a kid like that saying,
he's got all the
talent. Saw the line.
He's got all the talent in the world, and he's just starting, right? He's just begun to play. He finally is facing live bullets in these games, and he's coming out real good, and he's only going to grow. And the ceiling is so very high for this cat. 25-37, 166, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Now Singleton has gotten off to a slow start this year. What's up with that?
Yeah, I just think Penn State.
This is a status bar. This is a search
for some
bar.
reason they're not getting the big run plays, but they are getting the 4.5-yard plays. If
seen tonight, if you go back and watch that game, they're just wearing Iowa's defense down with 4.5-yard runs.
Yeah.
Tough runs inside. And you could tell, there was, a couple 4th down and 1-2 plays where we ran a quarterback sneak and our offensive line just, it just seemed like Singleton's not getting those big home run hitters.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm thinking, are they really, let's see how the season progresses and that there's some new players in that offensive line. Once they get, I'm pretty happy with their performance tonight because they were digging out 4 yards. You know what I'm talking about, Greg? Sometimes you got to get 4 yards.
Yep.
And they're doing that. So, but hey, man, I have to say it's an exciting football season. There's nobody out there that's a clear favorite. I looked at Georgia today; they didn't look very good. So it's pretty wide open, and that's what I think is a college football fan.
Yes.
When you're a Penn State fan or an Ohio State fan or whatever, it looks like it's going to be a pretty exciting season. So
yes, it is.
Appreciate you taking my call. My condolences to your father. God bless you.
Appreciate it, man.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Call again.
Thank you so much for that great call. Thank you. Yeah, it's a this is going to be a fantastic season. It's wide open. It's the last of the 4-team invitational playoff season. But there's a lot of drama. Penn State, Ohio State, in the SEC, Alabama showing some slippage, but they're still there. LSU trying to make that last. They're trying to do what they did last year with the early season loss of Florida State and come back and try to win the SEC division, then win the SEC championship game, which it looks like they just might do. They might get back to playing Georgia. It's Pac-12, of course, is exciting. We talked about that. The Big 12, it looks like it's going to be Texas. I would still put Kansas State there. We shall see who gets that second spot. Maybe Oklahoma. Maybe the last year of the Big 12, that with Texas and Oklahoma being in the conference, maybe they both play for the Big 12 championship. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's going to be real exciting. Mireya says at least the Twins are champions. The Minnesota Twins won the division, but keep in mind, the Minnesota Twins have the Major League Baseball record for 18 playoff losses in a row. That is 18 games. The Minnesota Twins have lost 18 straight playoff games without a victory. That's what everybody's going to be talking about when the Twins play their first playoff game this year. And of course, the Twins are going to be the underdogs. They have the worst record for the division champions. So it could go to 19. It could go to 20 in a row. It could go to 21 in a row because Minnesota, the state of, I won't say it. Well, you know what? We're going to shut it down tonight. This is our second post-game show. Lots of fun this Saturday. We're going to be probably do an episode sometime tomorrow. We're going to be doing a live program Monday night here at Peek Around the Corner. We're going to do the aftermath of week 4. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it all. And then, of course, we're going to do our predictions later in the week. So much to look forward to. Thank you all for joining us at Peek Around the Corner for post-game Buckeyes and the Irish. Epic game. The Buckeyes win 17-14 on the last, it wasn't quite the last play of the game, but with 1 second left to go, the Buckeyes win 17-14. And as Mo and Vision said, the Fighting Irish hasn't defeated the Buckeyes since 1936. Wow. Until next time, from all of us at PATC to all of you, please, please, you all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much.